Hi everybody, so I'm back. Sorry. Lucifer does not want me to share this information. And because of the amount of distraction and disruption that I was having in that previous location, God brought me to a different location. to the park that I was at yesterday before he moved me to the last park before I received a blessing. So here is the information I was given as I was driving here to this location in obedience to his guidance. Lucifer knows I am about to walk through the open door the Father has for me, and that there's nothing that he can do to deter me. So now he is going to make it an unhappy situation. So his hope is that I will be so distraught that even though I'm entering in my blessings, that it will be bittersweet, and at least he'll get that jab in, right? So the last thing I was talking about was the condo and the darkness, and that there is someone in that works for the company that owns that condo that has an evil spirit over them. Now, when I first rented the condo, I let them know that I have a dog. And that knowledge, they charge you $75 for a cleaning fee. Now, because this individual has a spirit over them, they have access to the system. And this is all revelation that God had given me. If I would have interacted with that individual from the first time they sent that message, I would have opened myself up to Lucifer's warfare and Lucifer's messing with my finances and, having access to me again. But by listening to God and closing, not opening that door, he's like, okay, I'm going to bless you. But there was one other thing I had to do in obedience, which was send a message. And that message opened another door, which I can't share all the details. There's too much. And I am still working on the book that Father has me writing. But it took 23 years for me to accumulate that lifetime of stories, of information. And so now he has me focusing on the current state because he needs me focused 100% on his word. So the book is on hold until I have finally reached my final destination, which is being together with my husband. Yes, in the spirit, we are already married. And what God brings together, no one can take apart. It's happened in the spiritual world. It just needs to manifest into the natural. And it's only going to manifest by faith. If I have faith in what God has told me, then yes, I will receive his blessings. If I don't have faith, I will not receive them. It will be delayed, and I will have to work more and more sacrifice. So it's Lucifer wants to keep us in the dark as long as he possibly can. And we can either help him or we can be an obstacle for him. So, that said, back to the condo. So, when Tara sent me the message this morning telling me that I was teaching others by the testimonies that I give day by day of how to listen to God's voice and how to walk the path, and I saw the confirmation of me being on God's path, I received another message from the condo from the same person. And this time there was, while it was still cordial, the words were more poignant. They were more directive. more forceful. And I was like, excuse me? You had the condo, you checked the condo, and you released it to the new renters. I have no responsibility at this point. It is not my job to do your job. And God said, don't open that door. They had the cleaning service in there. The cleaning service did not complain of a smell. And then he reminded me of something. And he goes, what happens when you walk into a place and you can smell the disgusting odor? And I'm like, there's a spirit in that place. It's like, they're not smelling the dog. They're smelling the evil. They're smelling, because he had me clean that apartment with bleach. There aren't many places God has me clean with bleach. The first place that he had me clean with bleach was the Motel 6 that I stayed at in California. The second place he had me do that same bleach cleaning was the one that I stayed in last night. But not last night. It was the very first night that I stayed in that hotel. He had me clean it with bleach. Every place that I stay in for the first time, and he leads me to clean it with bleach, that means that there is a spirit in that place. And I keep going back as long as that spirit continues to reside in that place. That's why the police are now there almost every day. Because God sends the police. God sends the protection. God sends his people who have answered the call. And it took me a while to understand all of this. Like, I didn't know that that's what God was doing. But by me cleaning with bleach, he is erasing any trace of my existence in that space, which means that I am erasing any existence of God being in that place, and I am allowing the odor of the spirit that is in that place to come out. And because of that, they now have to do a cleaning of staff, a cleaning of, and guess who comes in? God's children. And they begin to pray over their workplace. They begin to pray over their home, over their areas that they work in. They begin to pray over the things that they touch. They begin to pray over everything. Why? Because that is how God is leading them. Now, there is a twist that is coming to this testimony. I am now going to be speaking numbers. And Tara, this is the revelation God gave me when I was obedient in doing the things he asked me to do about going and getting coffee, so he had me go and get coffee. Then he had me go get those wraps from Burger King. And then as I was leaving, he goes, okay, now go back to the park. So I went to the park and I stayed at the park. It's a beautiful park. And there was a man there. And I was like, Father. And he goes, he's just holding the spot for you. Go ahead and park and he will move. And he did. I mean, it was like he was confirming that I was the one that was supposed to be there. Because he did. He waited probably about 5 minutes. And then when he got the confirmation, he got in his car and he left. And I was like, did you just confirm that I was the one that he was waiting for? And God said yes. So I pulled into the spot where he was at because he had the more of the shade. And so God brought me into the light because there was a lot of cloud cover and it was kind of dark. And I was like, it's kind of nice being in the shade. And God goes, I don't want you in the shade anymore. I want you in the sun. So he brought me to a place where I'm getting the shade from the tree, not the shade from the sun. And so he had me put up my screen cover so that I could have a little bit more privacy and my phone won't overheat like it has been. And I can tell you, the way that I'm parked right now, I am getting this delicious, wonderful, cool breeze. It's hot, but yet this breeze is cool. And I'm just like, okay. It hasn't gotten to 110. It's only 105. And God, I don't know if I'm sleeping in my car tonight. I don't know. I leave it in his hands. Anyway, so going forward, I am going to start sharing numbers. And this is what he told me. He's going to start leading his children to Terra. You are going to have to be able to surrender yourself to him so that he can bring to you the videos that he wants you to listen to. Tara spent several days teaching numbers, teaching to read, teaching to understand, teaching to decipher. She teaches you. But and God's not afraid of having the Pharisees go and listen to her because they're not going to understand. They're going to get bewildered and they're going to be frustrated and they're going to walk away. So, if God leads you to Tara, to her website, to her YouTube channel, and he tells you to listen to her based on the numbers that I give, I am not going to say they're for you, they're not for you, I don't know. I'm just going to say the numbers as I'm going through, as he leads me. There are specific numbers that he gives me, and they have certain specific messages for me. But these messages can be interpreted a million ways because it's God. So, that said, on my way here, God showed me 7, the number of completion. 7 is also my birth month and my birth date. He also showed me 227, and he said 2 by 2 is complete. And he also showed me 272. 27-2. The 2 is complete and is multiplied. And that has very special meaning to me because there is something God has promised me. And he's confirming that it's going to happen. So, the distractions, me jumping over the curb, this condo sending me another message. When I got to the park, I drank my coffee, and then all of a sudden I started getting, my stomach started, and I had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, oh God, please let me make it to the bathroom. I don't want another accident. And God said, don't worry, you'll make it. And as I'm going to the gas station that's on the corner, God said, put another $10, he said, put $8 in the gas tank. I'm like, okay. 8 is a number of new beginnings. And then as I'm pulling into the gas station, he has me go, because I was going to park in one place, but he said, no, park in this one. And it was the number 4. And he said, as I was going in to go to the restroom, when I came out of the restroom, he says, get a soda. I'm like, okay. So I got a soda. He usually has me reuse my cup because it's cheaper. And wait, that was a brand new cup. Or was it? Yeah, it was a brand new cup. She gave it to me for $1.18 because I got the cup after I went to the restroom. Huh. That cup should have cost me $1.40. Instead, it cost me $1.18. Well, then as I'm walking to the register with the soda, God says, you know what? Put $10 in the gas tank. So I get to the counter. I put down the soda. And I tell the woman, I tell the man 10 on 4. And he goes, okay. And he goes, I was about to say 4 on 10. And I said, no, it's 10 on 4. And then the total came out to 1151. So as I was walking out the door, God showed me 10 on 4. When you buy 2. And then, so I went to my car, I put $10 in the gas tank, and it was a quarter of a tank again. I was like, okay. And I came to this park, and then he told me to start talking in numbers. Because he also said, Tara, you and I will build the bridge. Seek Father for the new revelations. Seek Him, because it's time. It's time for the remnant to receive the inheritance of the kingdom. For those that have walked the path that Father has laid before them and have been told that they are crazy, that they do not hear from God, that they do not know what they are doing, that they are making it up in their heads. You know, he also wanted me to touch on the scripture of give Caesar what is Caesar's and God what is God's. And he wants his remnant to understand something. When you walk away from the world and you leave behind all the things of the world, you are no longer susceptible to the world. The inheritance, the money that he's bringing to you, it's not going to be susceptible to the world. Meaning, the world will have no right to the money that is given to you by God. They have no claim to what God gives you. They have no claim to the blessings that God will bestow upon you, even if you are operating in the world, but you're not of the world. God is not going to allow the world to partake in the inheritance. Not the governments, not the people around you. Only those that God deems are worthy of His financial kingdom, love, support, guidance, only they will receive according to His wisdom, to His will. Part of not putting God in a box is understanding that the world does not have rules on God. God is the rule. In the name of my Lord Jesus, I pray you seek Him in this hour. Amen.